Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for tuning into this class today. We're going to focus on love, self love, compassion for others, and, things that we can do physically with our body, energetically with our minds to cultivate that. So, physically, right, that heart meridian and lung meridian, too, right? They both run from the fingers up the arms across the chest to the other side, right? And they also run this way, right? They go up through the neck into the lower part of the head, and then they go down into our large and our small intestines too. So we've got this kind of spinal area as well as the chest and the shoulders that will work today. So to make things a little bit easier, especially if you're new, have something to kneel on, that will be great. Have a yoga strap. If you don't have an official yoga strap, just grab a long sleeve shirt. And then 2 yoga blocks can be really great to have. If you don't have a yoga block, like a thick dictionary would work well too. And then let's get started seated today. So you can find a seat on your mat and sit any way that feels comfortable for you. Honestly, I'll show my way, but if my way doesn't work, choose something else. So hero's pose is a kneeling pose, and I have my toes untucked, and I'm going to sit back towards my heels. That might feel nice without a prop, or you can take a block, place it in between your feet, and have a seat. 2 blocks, 3 blocks, maybe, depending on if anything is singing to you when you come into this pose. If your knees or your feet are hurting, you'll just want to elevate your seat a little bit higher by putting something bigger or a second thing underneath your seat. Okay. And then once we have our seat, you might be doing a different variation with your legs. That's okay. We'll have the palms flipped up, facing up, open to receive. And before you close your eyes, you might just glance towards the horizon just to help bring the head back in line with the rest of the spine. And then we close our eyes and start tuning into our breath. See how it feels to breathe in through the nose and exhaling with the mouth closed. When we do this, it makes a little audible sound as we exhale. Almost like a rolling wave. See if as you breathe, you can draw the breath all the way down through the body. Imagine it's going everywhere like a big gust of wind. Bringing you oxygen to where you need it. And a great little mantra that we'll try to work here as we settle in to give ourselves this 40-ish minutes of time to just focus on us. It's a nice little song mantra. It goes like this. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to perfect. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to perfect. One more time. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to perfect. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we'll start to move in our tabletop pose, hands and knees. You could have your blocks towards the top of your mat so that within reach. And to really start working that line across the fingers and up the arms as you press your hands into the ground. Can you also spread your fingers wide? Now, if your middle finger is pointing to the top of your mat, can you spin your hands outward a little bit so that the middle finger is more on a diagonal? And if you were to draw a straight line from that finger, it would go right off your mat on the sides. It wouldn't make it to the top. That creates a little bit of space for our shoulders. And then as we strengthen up our arms, as we push our hands down, see if you can also keep your elbows a little bit soft. And there's a little rotation, right? It's almost like the little pits of your elbows are starting to work their way to face the top of the mat. Now from here, let's move our shoulder blades a little bit. You can let your chest drop as your shoulder blades sink down. And then we'll create some flexion where we press and we make almost like a cat type movement, right? We're not really moving the whole spine here. This isn't cat-cow. We're just focusing right in on the shoulders. So the chest drops down. The shoulders lift back up. A few more times doing that. And then come back to your neutral spine, and we'll rotate the palm so that the fingers point to the knees. The left hand will rotate counterclockwise. The right hand will rotate clockwise. And now we're in our cat-cow. We're ready to do cat-cow with this variation to help stretch the wrists. So now we'll move the whole spine. The whole spine will sink down as we come into our cow pose. We look forward, take a nice breath in. And then exhale, we round our whole spine, tuck your chin towards your chest for your cat. Do that 2 or 3 more times. And then back to neutral, slowly unround the hands. And we're going to come into our thread the needle. So we'll keep the hips right over the knees. My right arm is going to thread underneath my left with the palm facing up, and I'll come down to my temple and my right shoulder. The left hand can sneak forward as I tent my palms. I straighten my left arm, almost as if I'm pressing down to send my left hip back. Come back to that mindful breath in through your nose, ocean sound on the way out. And then we'll switch sides. The left palm can press down into the mat so you can unthread. And we'll make our way to the other side. Left arm threads under, left shoulder, left temple come down. Right palm sneaks forward and we send that right hip back. And unthread, come back to your table. Okay, now we're gonna try our melting heart pose, but it's really early in our practice. So we're gonna use a block and we're gonna bring our chest, kind of like the upper part of our chest to that block. So I'll keep my knees right underneath my hips again. And as I walk my arms forward, I adjust that block so that I've got something to rest into. And then I'll reach the arms forward. If that doesn't feel good on your shoulders, take the hands wider apart and bring a little bend to your elbow. And we'll take 5 breaths here. Now this is working that upper back area, back of shoulders. And then we're gonna slide forward into our Sphinx pose. You can set your block to the top of your mat as you extend the legs out. Back behind you, the toes are pressing down, and we're in our Sphinx. Now let's activate our Sphinx. The palms are spreading. The forearms on the hands are pressing down and also pulling back as if you were trying to slide yourself forward on your mat. And your legs are really strong. The tops of the feet are pressing down. You should feel the muscles in your thighs and in your glutes start to work. especially in our vinyasa class when we do a lot of flexion and back bending. We want to make sure that we have these ancillary muscles awake and ready to support us. Bring a little awareness to the neck and the head. Can you feel the shoulders drawing away from the neck and down your back and towards each other? And your neck is easy. Our gaze is lifted, but we're also trying to stay long in the back of the neck as well. If I had a prescription pad and I could prescribe yoga poses to folks in the United States, this would definitely be one of them. It helps to reset the natural curvature in our spine. All right, let's take the elbows wide so we can let the chest drop a little bit closer towards the ground. And we're going to come into our little creeping lizard pose. So my right foot is going to lift off the ground, so my right knee is bent. And then my left hand is going to reach back for it. They might not meet, and that's okay. You could use your strap, or you could just energetically have them reaching, which is in some cases, it's better work because we can't cheat so much as when we hold our foot or when we use our strap. So this is back bending, right? It's also that glute strength, and we're opening up our quadricep here. If you're using your strap or using your arm, we're also stretching out that arm line. And we'll release and we'll do the other side. Left foot lifts, right arm reaches back, right? Either just reaching, using the strap, or holding the foot. And then relax and come down to baby crocodile. Rest the forehead to the hands. And send 3 nice breaths into your spine. Okay, so we're going to bring the arms to press into the ground alongside us. We're going to tuck our toes. Now, as you do this, I want you to feel your knees pressing down, your hands pressing down, and your shoulders, again, going towards each other and away from the neck. I want you to bring your awareness to your lower ribs and the front body. Feel them pulling in towards the spine. That should start a little core engagement. You might feel your lower belly, your belly button pulling back towards the spine. Now, easy with the neck, gaze right to the top of your mat. And when you're ready, move up towards your table. And then we'll come to a widening child's pose. Knees come wide, the toes come together behind you. And then we reach our arms forward and rest our head down and take some more mindful breath. Okay, we'll transition up to our table and then to our down dog pose. Remember those hands spreading wide, pressing down, slightly angled out. We have a neutral upper spine. So notice if you're rounding a little bit or if you're sinking too much, you want your shoulder blades on the back with a little space between them. And then we'll tuck our toes, send our hips up and back, keeping the knees soft. And imagine your ears are trying to center right between your biceps. Gaze to one spot, wherever it feels comfortable, and come to 5 mindful breaths. Extend the right leg back and up. Flex the foot, flex the knee, and then open the hip to the right. As you do this, can you fight the urge to have your right shoulder come further away from the ground than your left? You want both shoulders equal distance from the ground. And then we'll switch it out. The left leg extends up, flex the knee and the foot, open the hip. Left shoulder stays down. Back to our dog pose, both feet down. Now as you inhale, come forward into your plank. You want your legs really, really strong, your glute muscles really strong. Now reach your heart forward, keeping your hips from sinking. Keep the gaze towards the top of the mat. Don't waver from there. Let the knees lightly touch down. Feel the lower belly and the ribs pulling in. As the elbows bend back, we lower. Now we'll set up for a cobra, which is less of a push-up and a more of a push down, peel back. So the hands are wide, we press down, we pull, we peel our heart off the ground. Exhale, we lower. Remember that nice long neck as shoulders move together and down your back and you lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. And then we'll do that same mindful transition, tucking the toes, feeling the knees, feeling the core, coming through our table. This time right back into dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of your mat. And we'll come into a forward fold. So as you make your way, see if you can keep that head heavy and hanging. Soften the knees, bend them significantly. The more you bend the knees, the more flexion you get in your spine. The more your spine can hang with gravity and you bring space to the vertebrae between, right, those little nooks and crannies. Give your head a gentle shake no, a gentle shake yes. Now let's take 5 mindful breaths here. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine your core is getting stronger. Now we'll send the hips back, coming into a low squat. Reach the arms forward. Create a little space between your belly and your legs as you stand tall into mountain. Reach the arms up and then hands by your side. Lift your gaze to the horizon and take 5 breaths here. Mindful breaths. Everything is turned on. Everything is engaged, but not strainful, right? That balance, a little bit of effort, but not too much. And we'll warm up with our moon salutation here. As we inhale, reach the arms high and look up. As you exhale, come into that forward fold and lunge your right foot back. Bring the knee down. Pressing down with both feet, lift the torso up, reach up as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, the hands will come down and we make our way back to dog pose. The left foot goes to the back of the mat. We'll take 2 breaths here. Now the right leg reaches back and up. As you exhale, the right foot steps forward and the left knee comes down. Prepare for our inhale, feet are rooting. Reach the arms high. And we move to our forward fold as we breathe out. So the left foot's gonna come to the top of the mat, marry the right as we bow. Soften the knees, round up, mindful of your core, reach to the sky. And then fold in half again as you exhale. This time the left leg comes back, knee down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, move to down dog. Right foot steps back. 2 breaths here. Left leg backing up. As you exhale, step the left foot forward, bring the right knee down. Inhale, reach up, look up, mindful of your core. And make your way to a forward fold. Right foot to the top of the mat, bow the head, strengthen the legs and core. Rise to stand, reach up, and find your mountain pose. Hands by your side. I'm gonna sneak my mat back just a little bit so you guys can see me better in my standing poses. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna move into this love and kindness variation of sun salutation, where each time we go through, we will, to ourselves, or say it out loud, I'll be saying it out loud, just as a way to cultivate that compassion for self and others. All right, so in our mountain pose, close your eyes if you can. If it feels wobbly, keep them open to one space. And we say to ourselves, may I feel love and kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. Right, and now we will do a sun salutation in honor of ourselves. Inhale, reach up, breathe in. Like an exhale, breathe out, forward fold. We'll take our halfway lift as we inhale, palms press to shins. As we exhale, the hands come down and we step back to our plank. Strengthen, reach the heart forward as you inhale. Knees tap down, exhale, we lower. Inhale, take your Cobra, long neck, shoulders down and away. Exhale, lower. Move through your hands and knees and back into dog. 5 breaths here. Focus the gaze, focus the breath, rein it in. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way, feet to top of mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Rise to stand and reach. Then hands by your side. Exhale. Okay, second one. You can keep your hands variation alongside you. Maybe you cross your palms to your chest, right, or eagle mudra. And the next one, just think of the first person who comes to mind that you love and you care for. May they feel love and kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. And may they be happy. Here we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Use your core. Let go of your head. Long spine. Breathe in. Move to your plank as you breathe out. Strengthen the legs. Lower like a plank. Take your back bend. Move to your dog pose. 5 breaths in dog. Knees can always come down. Right? Still the body, still the mind, even if it's a modification. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold, strong legs here. Rise to stand, find that mountain pose with hands by your side. Okay. So now for this, maybe take the bind behind the back, or you could use your strap. Strap allows the hands to be a little bit further apart, less stress on the shoulders if that feels okay. Now in our mountain pose, I love this. It's kind of reaching our heart forward. Let's come to mind maybe someone this week who's annoyed us or angered us or hurt us in some way. And may that person feel love and kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. You can set your strap down alongside. We'll prepare for our salutation. Reach up. Fold in half. Halfway lift. Plank pose. Strengthen and lengthen. Exhale, lower. Take your back bend. Lower down. Move back to your dog pose. Make your way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise to stand. Reach up. And hands by your side. Exhale. All right, we're going to step back into some crescent lunge poses. So first take your feet hip width distance or outer hip width distance, right? A little bit wider. Now our right leg will stay where it is and our left leg is going to step to the back of the mat and try the crescent lunge. If it hurts your toes, you can do the warrior one variation, but make sure, right, that you give it a try. It might be that you're on the ball of your foot more so than your toes, and then you progress to lifting that heel a little bit more. And you want considerable space between the legs for stability, and then also lengthwise, just to challenge yourself. Okay? These strong, challenging poses, which make the subtleties of the body seem so acute in our face, we can't think about next week, right? It grounds us right here in our body, here and now. All right, as you inhale, reach the arms high. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a nice breath in. Nice breath out, release, and take that bind behind your back. If you can't reach your hands together, don't worry about it. Right? You can take this airplane arm variation where the palms are facing down and imagine that the pinky fingers are reaching towards each other. While it's not the bind, it will get you closer to the bind eventually. Breathe into the heart. All right, now straighten the legs and turn to face the edge of your mat, the wide edge of your mat. So either the outer edge of your feet will be parallel to the short edges of your feet, or your toes will be pigeon-toed in slightly. Choose whatever feels better for your body. Hands to hips. Lift the heart as you breathe in. Feel the ribs and core support you as you fold. Keep the knees soft here and keep the legs strong. And then we'll bring our hands down either to the ground or to blocks. Remember, the ribs are pulling in towards the body. The core is supporting our spine, and our strong legs is supporting our spine. So we're working our spine, but it's a team effort. If you feel comfortable, you can come into a forward fold here. The hands could walk back, or hands on blocks could walk back, so that the wrists are underneath the elbows, and the elbows are at about shoulder width distance. Really imagine that your feet are pressing down, charging up the strength of your legs. Maybe a little gentle movement, yes and no with your head. All right, walk the hands back out to that halfway lift variation, either to the ground or to the block. Walk the feet in a little bit more narrowly. All right, this is all about the core here. Stay strong. One hand to the hip, one hand to the other hip. Raise up. Now we're going to face the back of your mat. So tap your left foot, your left leg. Angle that left foot towards the back of your mat and come into that crescent lunge. Now with the left foot forward, facing the back of the mat. All right, changing things up. We have to change our perspective. And now the left foot is going to step back to meet the left and mountain at the top of your mat. And then you can just turn around. So that lunging back and that lunging forward is great to strengthen all of those supplementary muscles that have to support our spine and the movement that we're doing today. We'll come to that wide stance and the right leg's gonna step way back to the crescent lunge. Remember, space left to right, space front to back. Challenge yourself. This front knee should stay over the ankle, not too far forward, not too far back. Inhale, reach the arms high. Hands to heart. Breathe in. Breathe out, release the hands behind you. Either bind or do that airplane where the pinkies are reaching towards each other. We'll take a few breaths into the heart. We'll straighten our legs and we'll face the opposite side of the mat, right? Hands can come to hips as we lower down. Hands can come to blocks or to the mat. Now, if you feel balanced and you don't need your hands could walk and either grab your ankles or your heels or your calves. Using strong legs in your core to support you, you could give a gentle pull with your arms to deepen the pose. Remember, we have to stay strong when we find the depth. Come back to your halfway lift variation. Bring the feet in slightly closer together. Turning on that core, one hand to one hip, one hand to the other. We come back with a long spine. Now the right leg is going to face the back of the mat. And we come into our crescent lunge. And now the right leg will step back to meet the left. Woo. Okay, and then you can spin around. Okay, for our balance pose today, let's do eagle. And if you would like to, you can stabilize with a block. If you're using the block, go ahead and put it outside your right foot. I'm not going to mirror you, so it might look backwards here. But the block is outside my right foot, and then my legs are going to come together like this strong, united front. And then I'm going to sit back for chair pose. Keep those knees back over the ankles. Reach the arms forward. The left leg will wrap up and over the right, and the left toes can come to that block, which is outside your right foot. Sit back, keep the knees back, and then the left arm will wrap under, right arm over, and you can do opposite hand to opposite shoulder, just like I'm giving myself a hug, or you can take the full bind. Whichever variation, bind or hug, keep the elbows lifted. Focus the gaze, see through the obstacle, and breathe. And release, straighten the legs, uncross them, uncross the arms, reach them high. And then hands by your side. If you're working with your block, to the other side it goes. One strong leg, sit back, knees back, arms reach forward. Right leg up and over, right toes can come to that block. Right arm under for the hug or for the bind. Mindful breath, working our core on the exhale, keeping strong in our legs, focused in our gaze. And release. Stand tall, reach up, and then hands by your side. All right, we're gonna prepare to sit, and you'll wanna sit on something that gives you a little bit of a lift. I like a folded blanket, but maybe you sit on your blocks if the hips are tight, and you know that the hips are tight if you feel yourself rolling backwards. Right? If you can sit on your prop and you can have your hands flipped upward, and it doesn't feel like the most amazing, difficult core workout to stay upright, then you're good. All right, let's take the legs wide apart for dragonfly or straddle pose. Now we'll take the right arm out to the right with the thumb facing down, and then we'll let the back of the right hand come to the lower back. From here, let the left ear drop to the left shoulder. If you'd like to side bend a little bit more, your left forearm can come to the inner left thigh, and there's a little bit of a press to keep the chest open and prevent the chest from turning towards the left leg. And you could keep the head dropped if you'd like, and you can stay with this arm variation, or we will do our little side bend. If you're gonna do your side bend, activate your legs and your core, and the right arm can release and now reach up and over. And it's almost like you're making a triangle. And imagine you're reaching the side of your left hip for your knee. The arm is extended, you can look up. And then release, we'll come up and do that to the other side. First the neck stretch, left arm out, thumb down, back of hand to back, and right ear drops to right shoulder. If you want to side bend a little bit more, the right elbow presses to the right thigh, help keeping us open, reaching that right hip towards the right knee. You can stay with this arm variation or let the left arm extend up and over. But remember, strong legs as if you were standing in that forward fold pose. And release, come on up. We'll bring the legs together and we'll do our seated twist. The right leg will bend and the foot comes to the mat. It's gonna move to the other side of the left leg. From there, the left knee is gonna bend and then the left foot will come back towards the right hip. Sitting up nice and tall, we twist to the right. The left arm can fold the right thigh, or the left arm can go up and over the right thigh. So the left arm comes behind us and we move our gaze in that direction. And then untwist, extend the legs, and we'll do that to the other side. Left leg bends, left foot comes to the other side of the right leg. The right knee bends and that foot tucks back towards the left hip. Right, the right leg can always stay long if that bothers the knee. Now the right hand's either gonna reach for the left shin or the arm will come up and over the thigh. As the left arm comes behind me, my gaze will follow in that direction. And unravel the arms, unravel the legs. And then we're going to come and take a few supine or reclined poses on our back. Have a block within your reach as you come to lay down. Bend the knees so that the feet come to the mat. We're going to do a little eagle wrap here. So the right leg will come up and over the left. I'm going to lift my hips off the ground, put my hips a little bit over to the right as my knees fall left, possibly into a block or to the ground. My arms will come into a T shape. My arms should be about the same distance from the bottom of my mat. So my right arm isn't higher than my left or vice versa. And then I can gaze out to my right hand. Come back to center, uncross the legs, and we'll go to the other side. The left leg wraps up and over the right. I move my hips over to the left. And I can move that block to the other side so that when your knees fall right, they have something to rest on. Check in with your shoulders and bring the gaze out over your left palm. All right, back to neutral. Grab the block, this time place it underneath your sacrum. Let the legs just dangle up. This is really nice grounding for the back of the heart. I like my arms in goalpost shape when I do this. Resetting the hormones. Right? So everything that we work today, all of these different strategies, the breath, the yoga poses grounding us, inversions like this, which help to reset the hormones in our brain, the quieting of the thoughts, right? All of those can be a strategy to keep us in that compassion outlook, right? The world can get ahead of us and with all the objectives and the goals and do this and do that, we kind of forget. So what else keeps the compassion top of mind? What else keeps the self-care top of mind? Besides commitment to these practices that really put us in the present moment in our body and remind us that we don't need to get carried away into the world, right? What if the only objective was to love ourselves and to love everyone else? First and foremost, number one requirement. All right, you can let the knees bend a little bit as you bring the feet to the ground and slide that block out from underneath. And we'll take a little restful moment here. Nothing to do, nothing, nowhere to go, nothing to perfect, just a few moments of this presence. Start to move the fingers and toes and wrists and ankles. Bend the knees. Give them a hug towards the chest and take a few more rocks. And you could rock and roll up to a seat or come to one side. Right? Feel that space you created, mind and body. Hands come to heart center. Anjali Mudra, with compassion, with forgiveness, with gratitude and love. Together we breathe in and exhale out. Bringing a little bit of heart in our hands to our head. Leaving it there for the rest of the day. We bow to each other. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. Ask questions if you have them. Take care and happy Valentine's Day.